Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is, in my opinion, the greatest Call of Duty game of all time, and it's my second favorite video game of all time. And this is my review of this game in 2026. Starting things off with the campaign. The campaign is amazing. It has a great story that has multiple endings based off of your choices. This was something really innovative for Call of Duty. You know, up to this point, pretty much all Call of Duties were, okay, you start here and you end here, and that's pretty much it. Now, that being said, World at War did have like some tiny tweaks that could be made based off of what you did, but Black Ops 2 was really the first Call of Duty game that truly had multiple endings based off of what you did, and that was one of the things that always made this campaign stick out to me. And again, the story is just great. Now, as for these choices themselves, they would be things like, okay, do you kill this person? Do you let this person live? What decision do you make at this point? But also, there were these special side missions called Strike Force missions. And if you did or didn't do them, this would impact the story. If you did all of the Strike Force missions and if you made all of the right decisions, you would get the best ending in the game. But if you made some bad decisions and you ignored the Strike Force missions, you would get a bad ending. And I've beat this game countless times doing different combinations of choices. Black Ops 2 is just amazing in that regard. And another thing that has always made Black Ops 2 stand out to me in the campaign is the ability to customize your loadouts. This was the first Call of Duty game that had this option, and this always just stood out to me so much. And it's just so fun being able to choose how you want to play a level. You know, do you want to play it with a shotgun and a pistol? Do you want to do something bonkers like play with a riot shield and a ballistic knife? Do you want to play with 2 snipers? Or do you want to just have a couple assault rifles? This was something that was just always so cool to me. And you can put like cool attachments on your guns, you can unlock cool camos, and some weapons and attachments and perks and whatnot were locked behind challenges, and these challenges really did help add some replay value to the game. You know, for example, looking at something like, I don't know, the campaign for Modern Warfare 2. Is there really any serious incentive to replay the campaign missions outside of the campaign missions just being fun? Not really. Versus on Black Ops 2, again, there are challenges you can complete, which will let you unlock things that you can use in the campaign. Black Ops 2 was just really innovative here, and I really did appreciate these really cool things. And the campaign just has so many iconic missions, like the final mission, the mission Time and Fate, the intro mission, which I kind of got in trouble for in middle school, you know, where that dude's burning up at the very beginning of the game. My mom was not particularly thrilled with that, so I had to be sure to play that level while she wasn't around. And I did play this game censored one time. You can turn on a censorship option, and that was definitely an interesting experience, but the campaign is just awesome. There's so many iconic missions, and one thing that's really cool about Black Ops 2 is that your characters talk. I cannot remember if Black Ops 1 had talking characters or not, like your character talking, but in most Call of Duty characters, you know, the person you play as, he is dead silent for the whole game. In Black Ops 2, your character speaks. That's something that always really stood out to me, and this was the first futuristic Call of Duty game released in 2012, I believe, and it took place mostly in 2025, with a few missions taking place in the 1980s, although it now takes place in the past because this is 2026, and that just blows my mind and makes me feel rather old. But again, the Black Ops 2 campaign, it is just amazing in every way. I love it, and I've beat it so many different times. I've beat it on Veteran, Recruit, Regular. The campaign is just awesome. Now, for the multiplayer side of things, the Black Ops 2 multiplayer is amazing, and this is coming from a guy who very rarely likes PvP multiplayer games and PvP multiplayer game modes. I love the Black Ops 2 multiplayer. It is just so fun. And last I checked, in November of 2025, it was still pretty active online on Xbox 360. Now, that being said, my Game Pass is expired, but thankfully you can play it locally split screen or with bots. And bot battles, you know, while it's not the same as PvP, it's still pretty fun. I did try to get my wife to play this one with me. She's been featured on a few of my reviews, and she sadly had no interest in Black Ops 2 for whatever reason. But that being said, bot battles are still really fun. And back in the day, I guess I was a bit more patient with the multiplayer, as I would be a sniper, and I was actually pretty good back in my day. Over time, my skill level definitely went down a good bit, and I'm not nearly as good as I used to be, but the Black Ops 2 multiplayer is just awesome. There are a lot of cool weapons, especially the DLC Peacekeeper weapon. That thing is just really cool, and there are a lot of great multiplayer maps. My personal favorite is probably the DLC map called Grind, which takes place in a skate park for those who are unfamiliar with it. I just like skate parks. Now, that being said, Black Ops 2 does have this weird quirk where you can only be paired up with people who have the exact same DLCs that you have. So basically, if you have the Season Pass, you can only be matched up with people who also have the Season Pass, even if you're playing on a non-DLC map, which I don't know why that's a thing. That's just something really silly, and that was a little frustrating, but overall, Black Ops 2 multiplayer, it is great. Now, that being said, while I was playing it last year in 2025, it sadly was pretty common to run into hackers. Please don't hack this game. I mean, seriously, just let people have fun. Hackers are not cool. Hackers, go to some other game. Leave Black Ops 2 alone. But I will tell you where there are very few hackers on Black Ops 2, and that is the Zombies mode. Last I checked last year, again, this one was also pretty active. You could very regularly find people playing zombies, and there aren't really hackers in the Zombies mode, thankfully. I mean, Zombies mode, or Zombies players, I mean, they like the challenge, they like the buildup of zombies, so why on earth would they want to hack it? But do keep that in mind with the multiplayer side of things. Now with the Zombies side of things. Zombies on Black Ops 2 is my personal favorite zombies in the entire series of Call of Duty, just peak Call of Duty zombies. And Black Ops 2 is very interesting in that it has a pretty healthy blend of the more basic survival maps like there were on World at War and Black Ops 1, while also having a lot of more expansive, more big, more progressive maps like Origins and Mob of the Dead. Or if you want something just a bit more simpler, just get your guns and survive, you know, there's Bus Depot, there's Farm, there's Town, there's Nuketown Zombies, so there's pretty much something for everyone here on Black Ops 2. Now, that being said, I'm not a huge fan of every single Zombies map. Transit and Die Rise, oof, no, thank you. But the rest of the maps definitely make up for it. There are some great maps on Black Ops 2. Buried, Origins, just basic town in Nuketown. I love Black Ops 2 Zombies. I don't know how many hundreds of hours I've spent playing it. Now, for those who might be unfamiliar with Call of Duty Zombies, it's basically a horde wave-based survival mode. You start off with just a crappy gun and a really weak knife and a couple grenades, and the zombies are also really weak, and you kill zombies to earn money. And as you progress in the game, you get better and better stuff, but the zombies also continuously get better, and they increase with strength and number every single wave, and it's just really fun. I'm a big sucker for horde survival modes like this, Call of Duty Zombies, Killing Floor, that kind of thing. I'm just a huge sucker for this kind of game. It's just so fun, and there are lots of very cool and memorable weapons on Black Ops 2, like the Stavs from Origins, the Paralyzer, the Raygun Mark II, just so many great weapons in Black Ops 2 Zombies. And now Black Ops 2 actually has 4 on-disc Zombies maps. That's something that's really cool. World at War only had 1. Black Ops 1 had 2, and then Black Ops 2 had 4. So you have your choice of maps. If you want something super bare bones, you can just play Bus Depot, as pretty much all that's there is just some guns. Then there's also like Farm, which it has some perks, and then there's Town, which has the Pack-a-Punch, so you can upgrade your weapons. And then there's Transit, which is super complex, but it's sadly a pretty crappy map, which, I know a lot of people want to see Transit remastered, and I wouldn't mind that myself, because the reason it is such a crappy map is because of console restrictions, and the developers really had to scale back on what they wanted to do with Transit. But as a whole, Black Ops 2 Zombies, peak zombies, in my opinion. And graphically, this game looks great. The music is great, the sound effects are great, the voice actors are great. Black Ops 2 is just overall one of the best games of all time, and it earns a 9.9 out of 10 by my grade scale. And I refuse to acknowledge Black Ops 7 as the sequel to this game. Black Ops 7 is not canon, it doesn't exist in my eyes. Black Ops 7 is not the sequel. Alright, Black Ops 2 is just such a great, great game. I've played it so much. I've played on PC, Xbox 360, PS3. I have a lot of great memories of just playing this game with friends, playing it with my sister, playing it with people online. Man, Black Ops 2 is just such a nostalgic game for me. And again, it does feel really awkward now that this game takes place in the past, and that makes me feel really old. But Black Ops 2, man, just such a great game. As far as a similar game I could suggest that isn't Call of Duty, probably I would say Singularity, maybe Jurassic the Hunted, BioShock Infinite. No, for the zombie side of things, I would say probably like Killing Floor 2 and/or Barricade. And yeah, my unscripted review of Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I do have a couple notes, but as a whole, this video was not scripted. I mean, I just love Black Ops 2. I think everyone who's played this game loves it. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about this game. It's just such an amazing, amazing video game. And I would like to hear your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think about Black Ops 2? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And hey, if you disagree with me, that's fine. And yeah, a huge thanks if you stuck around to the end, and thanks for putting up with my horrible voice. Now, my regular viewers know that I always try to have a Bible verse of the day in my videos, so for today, we are reading Proverbs 21:2 NIV. A person may think their own ways are right, but the Lord weighs the heart. And for any newcomers here, I mostly review and discuss Xbox 360 games, so feel free to check out some of my other content if that sounds like your thing. And like always, none of my content is ever made by AI, and I do not consent to my voice and likeness being modified, altered, and copied by robots in any way, shape, or form. Jesus loves you all. Thanks again for watching. Have a good one. Game on. Peace. And, yeah, a huge thanks